Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Yes, we are following two major developing stories tonight, beginning with the presidential election. A judge ends Michigan's recount. So does that mean it's over? We'll have the latest on that in a moment. We'll begin tonight, though, with the man wrongfully accused in the death of Sergeant Colin Rose. He's a free man tonight. Thanks for being with us this evening. DeAngelo Davis walked out of jail and into the arms of family and friends.
Earlier today, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office dropped the charges in connection to the death of Police Sergeant Colin Rose. Jermont Terry is live at the jail where Davis spent 2 weeks of his life for a crime that we now know he did not commit. Jermont?
Kimberly, after 14 days locked up here at the county jail, as you mentioned, DeAngelo Davis is out free, and Detroit police are out intensifying the search for the real cop killer. An emotional DeAngelo Davis hugs friends. He's out of jail, now back home.
DeAngelo.
Man, that had to be a rough couple of days in that jail, right?
Right.
What do you have to say to Detroit police about what happened here, man?
Pay me. Feel me?
Right.
Feel me?
Right.
You can hear Davis saying he agrees when his friend tells him police should pay him. Less than an hour before walking into his house, Davis expresses 3 simple words.
Yeah, I'm still innocent.
He walks out of the Wayne County Jail cleared of all charges in the murder of Wayne State Officer Colin Rose. Are you mad at anyone for this?
No, I'm straight, man.
Davis spent 14 days locked up. The court arraigned him. He faced life in prison for the charges. But Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy admits police locked up the wrong man.
Said all murder charges against DeAngelo Davis will be dismissed today. He is no longer a suspect at this time.
Which means the real cop killer is still out there. Local 4 cameras spotted DPD saturating the community. They're back knocking on doors, looking for new clues.
Just bothering people for no reason, man.
Neighbors understand the importance of finding the killer, but some believe officers are too aggressive.
It's crazy. It got everybody in the uproar for no reason. Find the right person who did it.
And tonight we know police are looking for that right person. You have to remember there is still a $15,000 reward to find information leading to Sergeant Rose's killer. Also, we should point out that Davis has hired an attorney. His attorney did offer sympathies to Sergeant Rose's family. And we expect to hear from her and them in the coming days. Reporting live outside the county jail tonight in downtown, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Yeah, Jermont, I was just going to say Sergeant Rose's family, I would imagine they are on edge as this killer is still out there tonight, and hopefully they are found very soon. Jermont, we appreciate it.
Now to our other breaking story tonight, and that is the Michigan presidential recount. It is officially out of gas. A federal judge ruled Green Party candidate Jill Stein is not entitled to a recount. The Board of Canvassers will meet in the morning to make that official. We bring in Mara McDonald from downtown Detroit. Mara, I have to point out, however, Stein, I guess, still has, however long, still has a shot.
To call it the ultimate Hail Mary here, Devin, Stein has already appealed to the Michigan Supreme Court, but do not be surprised if that goes nowhere. And with these words, it's all over but the shouting. A federal judge says Jill Stein is not entitled to a recount in Michigan. Judge Goldsmith's order coming late tonight after the Michigan Court of Appeals and the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled yesterday. Now Stein's team has already appealed to the Michigan Supreme Court, but legal experts don't see any hope for Team Stein there. Quote, "We are deeply disappointed in Judge Goldsmith's ruling today, which gives deference to partisan state judges in Michigan who are attempting to block the state's recount simply because of the person who made the request." That's from the Stein legal team. She only got 1% of the vote in Michigan, and the Michigan Court of Appeals ruled someone who is the 4th place finisher cannot claim they've been harmed or lost by the result if they were never a contender in the first place. Attorney General Bill Schuette is the one who fought Stein at the Court of Appeals, along with a legal team representing President-elect Trump, who referred to the recount as a farce. Tonight, Schuette says, quote, "Our state of Michigan judicial system and the State Board of Canvassers protected Michigan taxpayers from a frivolous recount that would have cost millions of more tax dollars a day." Back here live, also important to point out that the judge said that there has been, at this point, absolutely no evidence of tampering or mistake. And Devin, Kimberly, Wisconsin is nearly 70% done with its recount at this point, and no appreciable difference in the ballots. Trump still leads there, and Pennsylvania has a court hearing on Friday to determine whether they will have a recount. Back to you.
Mara, do we have any idea what the final bill is going to look like on all this?
That isn't also a really big question here, Devin. All sorts of estimates being, thrown about out here tonight, but right now, no, nobody has any hard numbers. However, Stein has paid $973,000 for this recount. Any money over that will be the responsibility of the taxpayers of the state of Michigan.
One other matter here, Mara, and this is sort of the unintended part of what we found out here, though. This has exposed some pretty big problems with the inability of recounting a lot of votes.
Well, in the city of Detroit in particular, I think the percentage is that 60% of their votes could not be recounted. That doesn't mean that they aren't being counted in totality. Right. It means they can't be
their ability to be recounted. Yeah.
Because the totals don't match. It is. You and I could seriously talk about this for an hour. I'm sure nobody wants to hear it.
I'm not going anywhere. No.
but there are a variety of factors here. Detroit has the biggest problem with it. There are a lot of people who are pointing fingers at the clerk, but at the end of the day, it is the poll workers on the front lines who are doing this. Is that a training issue? Is that a what? Well, that's up for higher pay grades than mine to decide. But yeah. It has exposed problems here.
It sure has. It's given us a lot of homework, no doubt about it. All right, Mara. Kimber?
Well, it is chilly out there tonight. We're probably just so spoiled. We're probably where we should be as far as temperatures go. I don't know. It's certainly feeling like December, and it's going to start looking like it soon.
It is. 2 weeks straight now we've had above average temperatures, and Mother Nature's coming in with a right hook at us very soon. It's starting out in the west part of the state tomorrow, and those pink shaded areas are winter storm warnings, not only for Thursday, but extending all the way into Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and especially this area between Kalamazoo and Battle Creek right along 94. They're anticipating as much as a foot of snow. It's isolated areas, widespread places probably closer to 6-8 inches or so, but you can see a couple of those dark blue bullseyes where they could get upwards of a foot. Notice that we're not going to have much on this side of the state. We'll probably see a few flakes, and that's about it. They'll get started tomorrow, but temperatures will be our story going forward because we'll begin in the mid and upper 20s. Winds will be noticeable. Wind chills will be in the teens throughout the day. And oh yeah, we'll get our chance at shoveling some snow this weekend, and we'll look at those projections coming up in a few minutes. Guys?
Okay, Ben. A $50,000 reward is being offered to find a 28-year-old Farmington Hills woman who's been missing for 5 days. Danielle Stizlicki was last seen Friday in Southfield around 5 o'clock in her mud-covered Jeep Renegade. She was supposed to meet a friend, but she never showed up. Police are looking for her phone and car keys that have a distinct yellow keychain. Danielle's parents spoke today, pleading for anyone who has information to come forward, fearing she's been held against her will.
I ask you, I plead as a family, as a mother, from the deepest of my heart, help us bring Danielle home.
Now, police aren't really discussing the investigation as not to tip off anyone who may have taken Danielle. If you have any information on her whereabouts, you're asked to call Farmington Hills Police.
A Redford couple's longtime home goes up in flames tonight, and that is not all they lost. Tim Pamplin has the night cam on the scene.
Well, it's an unfortunate scene here along MacArthur, north of 6 Mile in Redford. You see the couple there comforting each other after their home goes up in flames, and unfortunately their lifelong companion, Molly, their dog, didn't survive, couldn't make it out. They say they're not sure how the fire started. It started in a breezeway between the home and the garage, and that's where Molly was. The man of the house there tried to get in there, but he says the flames were just too hot. It was too much. He had to get out, get his wife out. Firefighters have got the flames knocked down, as you see. Family members and friends coming up to console the couple. But a very sad scene here along MacArthur Street tonight with the night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
All right, Tim. A serial armed robber on the loose tonight, and police want your help getting him behind bars. Take a look here. This is surveillance video of the suspect entering one of the stores he held up in Westland. Police say he hit 4 times in 1 week. He's robbed a Rite Aid on Ford Road, a Family Dollar on Michigan Avenue, and another on Wayne Road. He hit that one twice. Police believe he's wanted for the same crime in other nearby communities. Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Macomb County is in the running for an exciting opportunity here.
It'll be very big. It's been selected as a finalist to become the home base for the nation's newest fighter aircraft, and that is the F-35 Lightning II. The Air Force conducted a review of all bases before naming Selfridge one of the finalists. There are 5 finalists right now. A review team will now visit the bases under consideration. Then they will submit their final recommendation to the Secretary of the Air Force, and that should happen by spring. That would be big.
Really big.
Good luck, Selfridge.
New tonight, it's a dangerous mistake being made by many, many parents.
What you could be doing wrong when your children are sick and what is most likely to cause that mistake coming up.
Caught on camera, a child being carried down several stories of a building, why the baby was being rescued. Hi again, Ben.
Hey, Kim, we looked at how Mother Nature's going to get a jump start here on the state of Michigan. Is this how the entire season is going to go down? We'll look at the next 3 months ahead coming up.
All right, Ben, if you are just joining us, a quick update on our top story tonight. D'Angelo Davis, the man cleared of charges in the death of a Wayne State police sergeant, is now a free man, released from jail a few hours ago. Charges were dropped earlier today. Meanwhile, the search for whoever the killer is intensified tonight as officers canvassed an area near the scene for new clues.
And our other big story tonight, a federal judge ruled Green Party candidate Jill Stein is not entitled to a recount, thus ending the recount here in Michigan. The Board of Canvassers will meet in the morning to make it official. Stein has filed an appeal with the Michigan Supreme Court, but the court is unlikely to rule on the case. We'll be right back.
It's easy to overspend this holiday season. So tomorrow for Thrifty Thursday, I'm going to show you some easy ways to cut costs so that you don't have to bust your budget.
And let there be snow. Will it affect your morning commute? We've got measurable snow in the 7-day. We'll discuss weather and traffic on the 4 starting at 4:30.
And plus, of course, all the overnight breaking and top trending stories when you join us from 4:30 to 7 a.m. We'll see you in the morning.
It's holiday.
Last winter was too good to be true.
Wondering about winter? Last year people were golfing and running in December, but what will that cost us this year?
I just hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
In Michigan, they say give it a few minutes and the weather will change.
I felt like it was in the middle of Alaska. It was so cold.
So what are we in for this winter? Well, now that the upcoming winter's first Arctic blast has arrived, a lot of people are wondering what's ahead.
Ben Bailey is looking into that very matter. I'll resist the Game of Thrones reference, but winter is coming.
I like that. I was going to say paybacks are heck, but I think that's even better. It just depends on your point of view. But whatever camp that you're in, the last 2 winters either had you super happy or really, really sad.
Winter 2014-2015 was best described by one catchphrase: polar vortex. Remember the snow? Remember all those sub-zero temperatures? Remember all those days that schools closed because of the cold, not the snow? Oh yeah, you remember.
I remember cold. That's what I remember. A lot of really, really cold temperatures.
I felt like it was in the middle of Alaska. It was so cold.
I think that winter sucked.
We desperately needed a reprieve, and Mother Nature gave us one last winter, thanks to El Nino. Remember those 50 and 60 degree temperatures throughout the winter?
It was almost unnatural. I was like, what's going on?
Spring all winter.
Last winter was too good to be true.
After back-to-back winters with record-breaking temperatures, one bitter cold, the other unusually warm, some people have developed their own ideas about this coming winter.
I think we're going to be warm again.
I have a feeling it's probably not going to be as nice as last year, but not another polar vortex.
Everyone thinks, oh yeah, it was a warm summer, it's going to be a warm winter, or it's going to be a cold winter. No one knows.
Everybody thinks they know.
The biggest factor impacting this coming winter is that last winter's strong El Nino is gone, and a weak La Nina has developed. Warm Pacific Ocean waters have shifted westward. which will impact our overall jet stream pattern from last winter's persistent mild position to a more variable, cooler position. So what does this mean for us? Average temperatures overall for the Great Lakes region. And keep in mind that this is an average. We'll likely get some solid cold blast balanced by some breaks of milder weather. But even average temperatures will seem like a drastic change from last year's balmy winter. It's going to be a close call with a winter storm track. It'll be close enough for us to be concerned about, but not necessarily continuous direct hits like we had 3 winters ago. Above average precipitation is the outlook right now, but confidence is low. And remember, this all doesn't have to fall as snow. We'll see.
A lot of people have the disturbing habit of relying on the Old Farmer's Almanac for their winter forecast. Well, this year the Almanac predicted a cooler November for us with a snowy period in the middle of the month.
Aha!
We ended up with our 5th warmest November on record. So
maybe the rest of there, because it also predicts a really bad, nasty winter.
I'm kind of done with that.
Yeah.
So, by the way, if you want to look much farther ahead than this winter, our Paul Gross has his annual climate change webcast tomorrow at 12:30, live on clickondetroit.com. You can post a question on our Local 4 Facebook page, and Paul will try to answer some of your global warming questions.
He relies, I believe, on woolly bear caterpillars. Isn't that?
Yeah, if they have the stripe that's darker.
Right. Get a shoebox full of them in there. Yeah, absolutely.
What have we coming now in the more immediate future?
Well, this is apropos because
that's right.
We have definitely got some snow, especially for the west side of the state, and then we're going to get our shot as we head into the second half of the forecast. But 30 is where we're at right now with cloudy skies, wind chill 17 degrees. We've got a wind out there out of the west at 21 miles an hour. These winds are going to stay brisk through the day tomorrow, so we're likely going to wake up with wind chills in the teens. And even as temperatures go back to this number in the afternoon, we're probably going to finish there as well. And you can see the colder air back here just waiting to pounce on us. I don't think that we're going to get to single digits, but this is going to be one of the warmer temperatures that we see. In fact, our daytime highs will be looking like this number at least for the next few days before we get even colder towards the end of the forecast. So the snow is not all that organized right now, but when we get this disturbance sort of swinging down across Lake Michigan, the lake effect snow machine will start getting going, and that's going to bring plenty of snow here to the west side of the state. We'll get some of that. We'll see a flurry or two around, maybe a persistent snow shower in a couple spots. Accumulation looks like it's going to be hard to come by, at least on Thursday and Friday. We get a bit of a break on Saturday under mostly cloudy skies. And then we gas up the snowblowers as we head into Sunday. 24 degrees for the low temperature tonight. And again, a couple snow showers around possible, but really it's going to be the winds with these 20-degree temperatures that's going to grab everybody's attention. So bundle up going to the bus stop in the morning, even though that's what the thermometer is going to say. It's likely going to feel much colder. In fact, we're looking at our wind chills right now in our 4-zone forecast. Metro area, which is going to be some of our warmest wind chills tomorrow. 18 is how it's going to feel in Dearborn, 19 in Detroit. And when you get down into the south zone, especially out here in Lenawee County, those wind chills are barely going to make it over 10 above tomorrow. 12 in Onstead, 14 in Adrian, and slightly warmer as you get out here towards Lake Erie. West zone wind chills tomorrow anywhere between about 13 in Fenton and 17 in Canton, and that's about what we're going to see in our north zone too. 14 up in Marlette, Rochester Hills, you're going to be at 17. And also in Macomb and St. Clair, that same number as well. So we get through Saturday with no significant accumulation from this Thursday and Friday mess, but this is a big mess on Sunday. Right now, if we had to call it, it would probably be somewhere between about 2 and 6 inches. Now that system has still got a lot of movement to do, so we've got to keep our eyes on it. I mean, we're still 5 days out, so don't get too hung up on it. I think whatever happens, it's likely we're going to be shoveling by Monday morning.
Yeah, well, Kim bought a shovel.
It's for that very reason.
He's ready to go.
I'll give you my address, and you can come on over. By the way, let's take a look at tonight's holiday lights. This is out in Redford. Another beautiful display out there.
Yeah, that's a nice little
Some
dancing
serious
light
movement.
we've got there. Yes.
Yeah, we'd like to see your festive light displays, so send us a picture by going to the community page, clickondetroit.com, and of course they may end up right here on Local 4.
Excellent. Nicely done.
Yeah.
It's a visit that most kids look forward to before the holidays.
But one kid says he was shamed by Santa. What the not-so-jolly man allegedly said to this kid. We'll have that coming up.
Isn't there a movie about this kind of thing?
We'll have that.
Also, a chaotic scene on a school campus when police are forced to shoot a knife-wielding student. It's next.
only at
A high school student in Nevada in critical condition tonight after being injured in an officer-involved shooting. This is cell phone video of the 14-year-old boy who was in a fight with a classmate when he pulled out 2 knives, started wielding them, sort of lunging with them at the crowd that gathered, and that's when campus police, an officer, fired a shot. The boy was seen there on the ground grabbing his neck.
Bro, he just shot the kid.
We had all units. BDW was shots fired with a student down at Hug High School.
That's Hug High School. The police officer's on paid administrative leave as the investigation goes forward.
A smoke-filled Buenos Aires apartment, a firefighter carried out a dramatic rescue of a baby. The blaze broke out earlier today in a warehouse across from the apartment, catching the building on fire. The child was handed to the rescuer by a parent from the balcony. The firefighter proceeded to rappel down the building, carrying the baby to safety. Everybody in that apartment got out uninjured.
When your child is sick, pretty easy to grab cough medicine and feed them a spoonful. A new study says it's even easier to get that dosage wrong. Researchers found 1 in 5 parents makes liquid medicine dosing mistakes. 1 in 5 measured more than twice the directed dose. Nearly all of the parents measured inaccurately to some degree. Health experts say it's because parents grab regular spoons or use the caps to measure. They say parents should ask doctors to show them how to use syringes instead.
Well, a lot of children look forward to seeing Santa Claus, but for one boy, what was supposed to be a happy moment turned into a scarring moment. Anthony from North Carolina is now speaking out about the day he was fat-shamed by St. Nick. This is his cousin with Santa. When it was Anthony's turn, though, he sat on Santa's lap and told him he wanted an iPod Touch and a drone for Christmas. That's when Santa said this to him.
And when I got done, he said, just lay off the hamburgers and french fries, and that really just disrespected me, and I felt awful.
What set me off is when he started crying.
Well, the mall's manager says that Santa apologized to Anthony and his family, but it's unknown if disciplinary action was taken. Well, we are all kind of still humming the tunes from tonight's live broadcast of Hairspray. There were so many good moments to talk about.
2 of the original lead actresses, if you watch tonight, Marissa Jarrett Winokur and Ricki Lake, made cameo appearances. One of the moments that people have been talking about quite a bit on social media came from Jennifer Hudson and her rendition of I Know Where I've Been. That's goosebump inducing, isn't it? The song is, of course, about the racial struggles of the 60s. It struck such a chord. Some of the actors that were singing were brought to tears, and I think made all the more electric by the fact that you knew it was live.
It was live.
Live
it was fantastic.
Theater.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Everything out of her mouth, so effortless, but you're right, Justin.
Pretty darn good.
Well, isn't that the way when you go to Broadway or you go see a play and you see that, you go, how do they do that?
Yeah.
Because this is child's play, I was going to say. Pistons. Pistons here.
To an art,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
sure. Yeah. I'm going to continue on before I get in trouble.